algorithm? A concept we've all heard somewhere and think we know. Everyone throws out an opinion, but nobody fully knows. What the hell is this algorithm? It pops up everywhere. Let me explain. An algorithm is a law of nature that exists in every part of life. Wait, how so? A law of nature? Yeah, when people hear algorithm, they go, code, programming. Even though today it's tied to software, actually, everything we see in nature is the work of algorithms. Can you imagine if the concept of time didn't exist? An algorithm is that time-bound process. Confused? Then let's start from the beginning. Let's take a trip to where the word algorithm was born. The word comes from a scholar born in today's Khiva, Uzbekistan. Abu Ja'far Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi. No need for the full name. What matters to us is al-Khwarizmi. This name entered the Western world as algorithm. So, the father of algorithm is
Wait for it.
Algorithm. He was one of the first to systematize algebra. The real breakthrough was defining a step-by-step way to solve problems. If you want a result, set the rules first, then apply each step one by one. That's how today's algorithm mindset was born. Back then, there were no computers, and even the idea of numbers wasn't as settled as today. But what al-Khwarizmi did was bring order to thinking. Take a complex problem and break it into steps. Sounds simple, but humanity hadn't been doing it systematically until then. Centuries passed and the idea reached Europe. Calculators, logic circuits, then computers were born. But at the core, it's still the same line. If you have a goal, describe the path to it with steps. That's why an algorithm isn't just about code. It's a way of thinking. Cooking a meal, writing music, even the simplest game mechanics are algorithms. To define an algorithm simply, without overcomplicating it, an algorithm is the designed path to solve a specific goal or reach a specific goal, and planning and calculating every stage on that path down to the tiniest detail. It's thinking through the process from point A to point B in the finest detail. Let me show you with an example. Let's pick a goal, turning off the light. What's the algorithm for turning it off?
I just go, hit the switch, and it turns off. Easy.
Nope, that's not an algorithm. It has to be in its most detailed form. You have to think of every tiny detail and include it in the plan. To make it clearer, let's write a very shallow algorithm. Step 1. From where I am, I use my legs to stand up and move into an upright position. Step 2. Using my feet, I turn my whole body toward where the light switch is in the room. Step 3. With my left foot still on the ground, I step forward with my right, then the same with the left. In this loop, I move toward the light switch. Step 4. Meanwhile, I use my eyes to scan for obstacles. If there's one, I go around it. Step 5. If the distance to the switch is short enough for my arm to reach, I stop moving forward, and it goes on like this. Luckily, we didn't write the code of the universe. Our brain doesn't get stuck on the details of these stages. If it did, we'd lose it. In coding, you have to calculate even the tiniest values. Angles, values, materials, objects, environment, numbers, constraints, rules, and imagine that continuing all the way down. That's what an algorithm is. So, let's say we skipped a step in this algorithm. What happens? Back to our example. Step 2. If I don't specify using my feet, the body either ends up in a ridiculous state or tries to move without turning. The bugs we often see in games come from algorithms not being set up properly like this. If you're getting into game development, my biggest advice is understand algorithms well. Because without an algorithm, there is no game. Some people mix up algorithm with writing code. They go, damn, these guys really nailed the algorithm. That's not a thing. There's no algorithm writing, you write code. An algorithm is a concept, the name for defining every detail of a process. You write code by following algorithmic principles. Think of it like mathematics. Is there such a thing as writing mathematics? Or would you say, they wrote some mathematics in this game? Yeah, right. That's not a thing. In math, you have operations like add, subtract, multiply, divide. All of those sit under the concept of mathematics. We're the ones who named mathematics anyway. We defined something that exists in nature and gave it a name. Same with algorithm. It was always out there somewhere. Our speech, our walk, our reactions, everything about us is the result of algorithms. From the formation of the world to this moment, everything came to be through algorithms. And maybe the end of the world will be by our own hand, through mistakes we make in algorithms.